MSI, a brand well known for its wide array of gaming and content creation laptops, has recently ventured into the productivity and business suite of machines. Among the new Summit, Prestige, and Modern series, the Summit lineup represents MSI's best effort to make its name in the premium business laptops. And here with me is the Summit E15 A11SCS. It comes in a couple of configurations, but the one I have with me here has the Intel Tiger Lake i7 CPU, GTX 1650 Ti Max-Q graphics, a 15.6 inches 4K non-touch display, 16GB RAM, and 1TB NVMe SSD. This particular configuration costs about $1,900 in the Western market and 2,59,000 rupees here in Nepal. Now moving on, the first thing you look for in a premium business laptop is its build quality, and for the most part MSI has nailed it with the E15. It has an aluminium chassis with a carbon finish, contributing to a lightweight build. The 180-degree hinge is pretty solid and you can easily open the lid with one hand too. Here, the exhaust vents blow air directly towards the screen, but with the considerable bottom bezel, there's not much to worry about. Likewise, the back of the laptop has the air intake vent and the speaker grills. The Summit E15 is also compliant with MIL standard 810G, thus you can take this laptop to any weather conditions. Also, when it comes to port selection, this laptop does a pretty good job. The left frame houses two Type-C with Thunderbolt 4 support, one HDMI and one mic and headphone combo jack. Similarly, the right side holds the two USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A ports and a micro SD card reader. Onto the display, as I mentioned earlier, our unit comes with a 15.6 inches 4K UHD non-touch anti-glare screen. It boasts 100% Adobe RGB color space with Delta E less than 2. Out of the box, this display has excellent color calibration and thus did not require further work. Everything looks crystal clear on this 4K screen and the colors are quite vibrant and punchy. Also, I did not notice any backlight bleeding issue, and this laptop has pretty good viewing angles too. Moreover, brightness is not much of an issue with this display either, so even if you're someone who prefers working outdoors on a bright sunny day, visibility is not going to take a hit. Getting to the keyboard, I found typing on this chiclet style keyboard to be quite enjoyable. The keys are well spaced out and the key travel is adequate enough. Plus, the keyboard chassis does not flex much either. Furthermore, to maintain the professional design of this laptop, MSI has gone with the plain white backlight. You can choose from 3 levels of backlight, and I found even the lowest level to be plenty visible. There are also multiple helpful shortcuts embedded into the function keys of this keyboard, but I found flip and share really useful. You just have to hit the F12 key and the screen orientation turns upside down, making the content easily visible to people next to you. The trackpad, however, was a bit of a disappointment. First of all, I would have liked it to be slightly larger, and it features integrated left and right keys whose clicks feel rather plasticky. Additionally, for some weird reason, it would briefly be incapable of scrolling. Besides this, the trackpad does a nice job. 4 finger gestures work like a charm, and the bronze accent around the edges adds a certain bit of character as well. The embedded fingerprint scanner could have seen a better implementation too. It often tends to misread my fingerprint inputs and is placed in a rather uncomfortable position as well. Okay, for performance, MSI Summit E15 has the latest Intel Tiger Lake Core i7 CPU with 16GB of dual-channel DDR4 RAM clocked at 3200 MHz and 1TB of NVMe PCIe Gen 4 SSD. The PCIe 4.0 support is one of the highlights of Intel's new Tiger Lake processors, which is a big feat for Team Blue, seeing how AMD is still sticking with the older PCIe 3.0 standard even in the latest Ryzen 5000 series mobile processors. This superiority of PCIe 4.0 on this machine is reflected in the SSD read and write speed, which is above average from what you'd expect on a similarly priced old generation laptop. Apps load fast and the device boots up in no more than 7 to 8 seconds. During my test, I found apps like LibreOffice Writer and Adobe Photoshop to launch at 2.5 and 9 seconds respectively. Similarly, I also ran a couple of benchmarks and compared it against the Ryzen 7 4700U and Apple's M1 chip. Note that while performing GPU heavy tests, I disabled the GTX 1650 Ti on the Summit E15. With these, we can clearly see how good performing this Tiger Lake CPU is, especially when compared to the Ryzen 7 4700U. It obviously does not fare against Apple's new M1 Silicon and lags behind it in terms of multi-core performance too. However, this new Iris Xe integrated graphics is a major leap from the Intel UHD graphics of the past, easily outperforming the AMD Radeon graphics. Now, talking about real-life performance, as you'd expect, regular everyday apps run perfectly fine, and multitasking is no slouch either. You can have multiple tabs open on Google Chrome while also doing some light editing on Photoshop, and there's no lag or stutter. There are also multiple performance modes to choose from to match your use case, which includes high performance, balanced, silent, and super battery. Here, since it's a business-focused device, during my time, I mostly tested its performance in the office on the silent mode. In this mode, it does an exceptional job of keeping things quiet unless you are blocking the bottom vents by placing it on your lap. Still, the top left portion of this chassis does get a little warm after, say, an hour of use. In power-intensive tasks like video editing or gaming, I switched to the high-performance mode. In this mode, it cranks up the fan modes and things get loud as expected. The fans do a surprisingly good job at handling the thermals, and I am quite satisfied with its performance. You can even choose from different fan speed presets, but most of the time I left it at auto. As for gaming, you'd want to dial down the resolution to 1080p for best performance. Thankfully, most of the games run pretty well under this setting. In Battlefield 5, I was able to get a stable 55 FPS under high graphics settings, while I got an excellent 150 to 160 FPS in Valorant under the same settings. In esports titles like FIFA 21, I was able to get a stable 60 FPS under ultra setting with MSA 2 times option on. However, unlike photo or video editing, gaming does take a toll on its cooling system. After about 45 minutes to 1 hour of continuous gaming, the upper area of the keyboard chassis would get considerably warm. It's not exactly a heating issue, but yes, it does get warm. Now let's talk about its battery life. It has a 4-cell 82 watt-hour battery, which is a decent size, but since it has a 4K screen, I only managed to get around 6 hours of screen on time. My usage mostly consisted of browsing Google Chrome, editing Word documents, and light photo editing every now and then. All of these at brightness set to around 30%. So yeah, 6 hours of battery is a little bit low, but I'm pretty sure that the battery life is relatively better on the full HD variants of this laptop. Charging of this device can take somewhere from 1 hour 30 minutes to 1 hour 45 minutes, and yes, you can hook up the USB-C cable to either port on the left. Additionally, the 90-watt power adapter is rather bulky than I would have preferred for a portability-focused machine, but it is what it is, I guess. Moving on, the Summit E15 lets you down on the speaker front as well. It features two 2-watt speakers on the bottom, and they get completely muffled while laying on a flat surface. Forget anything about details on your music. More importantly, it just cannot get loud enough. Its webcam with IR sensor is pretty average too. As you can see, the subject looks grainy and smooth, and there's also this feature that supposedly reduces background noise when you're talking to the microphone, but I do not find much of a difference in quality when turning it on or off. Wrapping it all up, the MSI Summit E15 is a commendable attempt from MSI to break into the business laptops market. It has a fairly nice build quality, and the 4K screen is something to be amazed by. The performance department of this machine is not all that bad either, and the Tiger Lake CPU paired with GTX 1650 Ti GPU results in great power too. However, there are many established brands already doing so well in this market. From Apple's MacBook Pro to Dell's XPS and Lenovo's X1 Carbon, MSI has some tough competition. Last year's MSI's Prestige lineup of business laptops was pretty great, and the new Summit series builds on that, although imperfectly. The thing is that the Summit E15 has an uninspiring trackpad, below average speakers, and the battery endurance is not that great either. So MSI should really focus on these 3 crucial aspects to really shake up on the premium business laptops market. So that was my review of the Summit E15 A11SCS. Do let us know in the comments if you would like to see more laptop reviews on our channel. Till then, I'm Pratima and I'll see you in the next video.